What a catchy song. I mean, I was dancing in the back. Do, 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 do. Hold on a second. Courtney, we can't hear you. Hello, Courtney. You're on mute. I was like, is it me? Can you all hear me? Hello,
I can
everybody.
hear you. Hello.
Oh, hello. Okay. Hey, we're pivoting. We're pivoting. And I was just totally jamming with the music. But thank you all for being here for Unlock Your Google Classroom Interactivity and Differentiation with Classroom Updates. We're so happy that you are here. Thank you for your patience. We've got a jam-packed 45 minutes for you today. And we're going to introduce ourselves since you're going to be spending 45 minutes with us. So here we go. I'm Daryl Legaspi. I've been working with Google on these webinars for almost 3 years, Courtney and I. And prior to me doing this, I was a middle school science teacher. And man, what an exciting time. It's been what, Emma, I think we said 10 years
10
since
years of Google
Classroom
Classroom,
has been
yeah.
released. 10 years. And we've been there through that whole entire journey. So excited to see how it's evolved. And my partner there, when she's doing a little sound check, you know how technology happens, but we're making it work. That's Courtney Watson. And again, we've been working together for quite a while doing this Google webinars, and we're happy to be a part of the EMEA audience. So thank you all for having us. And I'm going to introduce our Google champion, quite the celebrity. We just learned your resume, Emma Ferris. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name's Emma. I'm the digital learning lead at Tring School, which is a secondary school in England. And I'm a Google certified trainer. And I was also lucky enough this year to win the UK and Ireland Google Reference School Award for Teacher of the Year. So that was great. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. And we just met you recently and truly well deserved. It's been a pleasure working with you the past few
Thank you.
days. So, are you excited to be here? I'm excited to be here.
I am, yes.
All right. Courtney, how you doing with the sound check? You good? Up. Still not there. Okay, we're going to keep going and we're going to pivot. We're making it happen. I'm going to start dancing a little bit. All right. So, here's our agenda today. We have it split up for you in 3 different chunks. First, we're going to look at engagement and interactivity, classroom management and differentiation. And then we get to let's say, the piece de la résistance, the part 3, the Gemini education in Google Classroom. And we've got some exciting things to show you. Kind of wish I had it whenever I was in the classroom, but we'll show you how those tools can really revolutionize the way you teach. All right, here we go. So we'll start with engagement and interactivity because, hey, we love to engage right in the get-go, right? That's what we're supposed to do as educators, engage in the get-go. So here we go. We've got this lovely feature here, and practice sets has been around for almost, I'm going to say, it's been almost 2 years since
I
practice
think a
sets.
little bit over 2 years.
A little bit over 2
yeah.
years, right? And they're finding ways to make it better and better each day. Because I don't know if you're like me, Emma. I don't know if my Google Drive is full of Google Form quizzes,
Yeah, that I've been
untitled
using
Google
for years.
Forms.
Yeah, quite a lot of those as well.
Quite a lot of those as well. And sometimes we want to be able to reuse those Google Forms and turn them into a practice set. And we love practice sets because it's all about practicing. It's for the learning, right? We're not
Yeah.
necessarily taking it for a grade, but we can if you want to. So we're going to show how we can recycle those forms. You ready to take this journey with me, Emma?
Yes, can't wait.
Okay, so if I mess up anything, you let me know. So here I am. We are in the Google Classroom dashboard. And look, it's just screaming at us. Courtney, I think I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yay.
Courtney's here.
So sorry. You know what's happening. I'm here. I can hear y'all.
I thought it was music. My sound is out, but it's the suspense. We'll have to keep our audience on their toes and to see, hey, we're experts. We can
Yes, we
pivot.
got this.
We can do our thing.
We're good.
So
But we're talking about my favorite topic, which is practice sets. And I was starting to
I'm
get
going to let you have it.
So you're already over in classroom. And the only thing I was going to add is that I'm very much team don't reinvent the wheel. So it's a game changer, as Daryl was saying, to be able to use some of those Google Forms. When you're over in classroom, you have a couple of options. You can always go into a classroom and create an assignment and then build your practice set on the fly, if you will, in that moment. Most of us will probably be building these ahead of time. So when you're on your dashboard here on that left-hand navigation, you can go to that nifty new resources page that Google has given us. And you cannot help but miss this super helpful large gray button with a plus sign that says new practice set. And I'm going to suggest while it's loading that you try to stay in the habit and or make it a habit of naming your practice set right off. You'll see it comes in as untitled practice set. And if you don't, you will end up with numerous high numbers of untitled practice sets. So it starts you off with a placeholder question. So of course you can always manually add questions. If you look to the right of that question box, you'll see a small plus sign and you can do a few clicks there. But if you do a little scroll, right underneath that first question, you're going to see, voila, even a little pop-up to let you know, you've got a couple of quick action buttons. You can save yourself a couple of clicks. I'm always about saving time. So let's just click that import button. That familiar dialog box is going to pop up so you can search your drive. If it's something that you created recently, you can always pop over to your recents tab as well. But if it's something that you created and you just want to repurpose as a practice set, go ahead and give it a search, select your Google form, and then click import.
I just double clicked it, so it worked too.
That's okay, it works. Now, the ooh and the ah comes in from, yes, that Google form has been brought over, but look what's also there with it. Different question types. We have multiple choice questions. We have the questions, the answer choices, the correct answer already marked. And what else do you see? Images. So images that are part of the question. We even had a question that had images as part of our answer choices. All of that comes over into our practice set. And I can continue with my normal practice set building process. If I needed to add some additional questions, I could, but then I could also go in and add those resources and hints and materials for my students to use. Remember, so they can get that immediate feedback when they're utilizing those practice sets.
Very cool. Yeah, way to repurpose our Google Forms into practice sets. Saving a lot of time doing it this way too. Awesome.
I'm all about that. Every little second counts. The other amazing tool for interactivity that lives on that resource page, interactive questions on YouTube videos. So again, you've been able to use your instructional videos, manually go look into your videos, find a stopping point for students to interact with the video and answer some questions, just to kind of make sure they're understanding and following along with what's happening in the video. But there is a new pilot that for some of our videos will suggest questions generated by AI. So again, on that resources page, we're going to do a new video activity. And you would either paste your URL if you already had the video that you wanted to use, or give it a search for your topic. I think Daryl did plant sales. And as he kind of scrolls on our results page, I want you to notice that on the video card, you'll see some of them have a little orange asterisk. And if you see that, it's going to tell you that there are some suggested questions and how many are available. Those are those Gen AI suggested questions. So Daryl's Xing out on the one that doesn't have the asterisk because we are saving time here. So we're going to grab one of those plant sale videos. And at this point, if this was a video that was new to you, you can always hit play and go ahead and review it now, because of course you want to vet your video before you push it out to your students. But we already vetted this video. We knew it was a great one. We were just excited to find out that it had some AI suggested questions. So we'll go ahead and click add questions. And it's going to drop us into that same editor that we're familiar with. But again, I feel like, because the questions are already there. They're already at the timestamp point. So Daryl, if you just click on one of those suggested questions, and at a glance, you can kind of see that if you scroll up a bit, you can see that it pops to that place in the video where that timestamp is. This particular question is a multiple choice question. We have our 4 answer choices. And the correct answer is already marked. You could add additional questions. And also what I like about it, I love saving time. I love it's already there, but I have the option. I can still edit if I need to. So if I don't I want to change one of these answer choices, or I need to adjust the wording of the question, I have that flexibility to make that happen. If I don't need all of these questions, or if I need some additional questions, I can still add more to it as well. But game changer. to be able
Absolutely.
to find some of those videos, those science videos right now, I believe, that have some of those AI questions suggested for you.
And as a previous life science teacher, I can vet that is the correct answer. Cytoplasm.
And as a non-science teacher, I believe you.
All right, I'm excited about this one. It's a
Me
small one,
too.
but it's a goodie.
It's
It's a goodie.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, small but powerful, or
There it
something like
goes. Yep.
that. So this is a great new feature that allows teachers to really quickly see any student engagement in assignments in Google Classroom based on activity with Google Drive attachments. So if as a teacher you've assigned a Google Docs or a Google Slides or something like that to your Google Classroom assignment, you can now see at a glance which students have or haven't engaged with those attachments. So this means that teachers can really quickly see if students have actually started on their assigned work. And if they haven't, it allows teachers to quickly provide timely interventions, like sending a reminder to the whole class if nobody's started, or to individual students. And it's great for teachers to adapt their planning based on their class progress. It also might be helpful if a student's been absent, so you can really quickly check if they've interacted with the work rather than having to go into the assignment in Google Classroom and open up the Google Doc or the Google
Mm-hmm,
Slides.
mm-hmm.
Um, and just as an example of this, last week I had a student in one of my classes who wasn't working in my classroom. He was in school but working in a different room. And his head of house emailed me to ask me to give him some feedback on the work. And I could go into Google Classroom, and without even having to open his work, I could see from this message that he hadn't even edited it at all. He hadn't interacted at all. So I could email the head of house back and say, well, I'd love to give him some feedback, but he hasn't actually done anything. And send a message to the student just to say, you know, I noticed you haven't done any work. Do you need any help with anything? And check in that way. So that's a great new feature.
And how convenient.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day where we'd have to, you mentioned it, open the document, go to version history. When was the last time they touched it? But
Yeah.
should we showcase this really quick?
Yes, let's have a quick
do it.
look.
Quick look.
So if we go back to Google Classroom and
Get
go
this
into a
one
Google
here.
Classroom, so we've got an assignment in. And then if we just find our assignment, so if you go into classwork and find the assignment you want to look at, and you can see if you just scroll down a little bit, you can see straight away that you've got that little pop-up there that tells you that 9 students haven't made any edits yet. And if you click on there, perfect, then you can see, so these are our 10 students that have got the work assigned, and we can see that most of them haven't edited it at all. But one student has edited it today, but hasn't handed it in yet. So we can see that. And if we look at our students who have handed it in, then we'll see that they've all edited it at various points as well.
That's even telling me last edited October 14, 9:38 p.m. So this person was up last night.
Yeah.
Doing their homework. But I love this click right here too. Show only the 9 students with no edits. So pretty handy. Love it. I think I'm really excited about the next one. If I remember what the next one is. The suspense. Here we go. Well, after this.
Well, of course, we are still going. Just going to talk about some updates on managing our different classrooms that we have in Google Classroom, and then how we can differentiate a little bit for our students. And Emma's going to keep us going.
All right. Show us more, Emma. Show us more.
Okay, so this
this
is
is a
a
goodie.
great new feature. This is probably, I mean, at my school, it's been really, really popular, really well received. It's probably one of the most requested features I think that teachers have asked for. So this is great. So if you've used Google Classroom before, you know that you used to have to go into Google Classroom and tick specific students if you wanted to assign specific work to them. But now you don't have to, because Google have given us the option to create groups in Google Classroom. And these obviously kind of stick around, so you don't have to do this every time you want to use that group of students. So this might be really helpful, for example, if you have students who have IT access for exams, or students who regularly finish their work early and you want to give them extension work, or students who need work adapted or differentiated for them, maybe in a different language, or maybe they have a lower reading age. A few important things to know about using this tool is that firstly, the groups are editable. So as the students adapt, you can add members to the group or edit the members of the group and even delete the group if it's not needed anymore. And also students can be added to more than one group.
Okay.
And most importantly is that students can't see which groups they're in or the name of the group, but obviously use your professional judgment when you're naming them.
Right, right.
So shall we see what this looks like?
I just got goosebumps. I'm ready. I think the world is ready for this one. So I'm
So
gonna
if we go over to Google Classroom again,
okay. Let's go back to
and
my class.
there's a couple of ways of doing this, but so you could do it in an assignment if you realize that you want to have a group but you haven't set it up yet. You can do it straight from an assignment, but the easiest option if you're doing it ahead of time is to go to the People tab in your Google Classroom. And if you just scroll down a little bit to Students, you'll see a big button there that says Groups. So if you click on that, and we've already got one set up, so you can see one there, but you can also see the Create Group button. So if you click on that, let's call this Adapted Reading Age. And then I'll just go through and I will tick the students in my class that need their work adapted for them to different reading age, and then just press Create.
Just like that,
Yeah, magic.
huh?
There you go. So you can edit it from there if you need to, but if you want to actually use this in an assignment, then we go back to our classwork page and let's create an assignment.
Okay. Any assignment. Let's do an assignment.
Any
Okay.
assignment, yeah. And you'll notice on the right hand side where it says all students, if you click on that, you've now got the option to click on the groups button and you can see the groups that you have created. So you could assign just the specific work to those specific students really easily.
Oh, thank you. A breath of fresh air. I just remember those days.
I was just say another time of the way this had to be done manually every time you made an assignment.
Yeah. Yeah, not
Yeah, so-
anymore. So
Because I was all about project-based learning and differentiation, trying to figure that out. But this is a great, great feature. So awesome. I can hear the comment section just blowing up. Let us know if you love that one.
And as we pop back over, I just want to make a note. I did see one comment, and I know I didn't say it on my slides. If you're in the deck with us, if you'll notice as we talk about these different updates, we always have it sort of coded at the bottom to let you know if it's Education Plus or Teaching and Learning Upgrade and things like that, so you can see which version you have it for.
Good point, Courtney. Thank you. We got your back. There's even a Learn More button there too if you want to learn more about it.
great. And then the next one is another new feature in Google Classroom that allows guardians to see more information about students' work and their progress. So we've previously had the opportunity to add guardians into the Google Classroom and they would receive an email summary of their students' work. But now they can get a link with an attachment which will include information about their students' classwork. So they can preview this, including assignment titles, details of the assignment, attachments, and due dates. So this is really helpful for parental engagement, and it's really easy for guardians to access. So they can access it directly from the classroom email summaries, like you can see in the little GIF rolling at the moment, or teachers can directly share the link with guardians and send them that email. A few important things to know is that guardians will not be able to see their students' grades or submissions. They can't see any class communication, so any comments or anything on Google Classroom. And most importantly, they can't see other students' work. It's also important to know that teachers have control of this, so teachers can turn this on and off at any time in the class settings page. So maybe you don't want it off, you don't want it on for a couple of weeks while you're doing preparation for an assessment or something like that. So you can turn it off and then turn it back on again when it's appropriate.
Gotcha. Just enough information to keep them informed.
Exactly, and able to help and support their students at
just
home
the right
a bit
amount.
more. Yeah. And then this one is a really nice little feature that's available to anybody using a Chromebook. So students can now find their Google Classroom assignments from their desktop. So all they need to do is click the calendar button in the bottom right corner of their Chromebook, and they can check on classroom assignments and see due dates as well. And hopefully this will help our students stay more organized, keep track of assignments, and complete their work on time and manage their workload. So a
Yeah,
great
so no
feature.
excuses. They've got the nudge on their Chromebook, and they also have the dashboard. So we know as educators that hey, they haven't touched this document. So
Exactly.
perfect.
Yeah.
I
All
love
the
this
help,
one, and I'm like, is there a version of this for adults? For my
right?
Google Calendar?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Am I missing something right now? No, I didn't schedule something over this webinar. Not at all.
And then this one, you might already be familiar with this because this has been around for a little while. So lots of our favorite or and most used EdTech tools have add-ons that make the tool and allow the tool integrate seamlessly in Google Classroom. This helps a lot when it means students don't have to go to another tab. You can do everything directly in Google Classroom. And there are 10 new add-ons available now.
Lovely. Just full of updates
Yeah,
and
Keeping
integrations.
it all in one place.
One
exactly.
stop shop. Let's make it a one stop shop. Speaking of one stop shop, oh, you see what I did there? You see what I did there? So, this slide really isn't teacher facing, but it's a reminder for us to thank our Google admins for making our life a little bit easier when they're setting up our Google Classroom on the back end. Just know that Google is making it easier for our Google admins to link their student information system into Google Classroom. What does that mean? It's the ability to sync your roster, sync your gradebook. And yeah, so Google is making it easy for those Google admins to make that happen. And but the next slide, however, is a little bit more teacher facing because if you're one of the lucky few that have their Google Classroom synced to their, let me play this video in the background as I speak, to their gradebook or their rosters, you'll be able to incrementally sync your rosters in the event that there's an update, right? So you'll see that button right there, import from SIS, and you'll be able to import either new teachers or students in your class. So again, ways to make our lives easier so we don't have to juggle between platforms. Um, those were the purpose for those two slides. But I'm really excited about what we're about to embark on in the third section of this webinar. Do you know what we're talking about here? Let's see. We're getting
Let's
to it.
see.
Let's get to it. If I can switch slides.
It thought about switching
I thought
slides.
about it.
There we go. Here we go. And I had to wait for it because I wanted you to see it because this is the real. I know I've oohed and awed a little bit already, but this is the actual portion of our game show. Gemini Education provides educators with a suite of generative AI tools that can generate new and unique content and make learning more personal and engaging for students. So we're going to look at a few of those that we can do in Google Classroom.
4 to be exact, right?
4. There are 4.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Which is also grown. I think we started out with 2 and we're already at 4. So
So yeah, so we've got 4 new features then that we can use directly in Google Classroom. So we can use Gemini to help us create a lesson plan. We can use it to create a compelling lesson hook. So if you're struggling to think of ways to get your students engaged in your lesson, then we can use Gemini to help us. We can also use it to generate a quiz in Google, using which we can then use in Google Forms as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry.
You're good. You're good.
And the last one, which is amazing, is that you can re-level a text. So we were talking earlier about maybe having a group of students in your class that have a lower reading age or a higher reading age, and you want to adapt a text. Well, Gemini can do that for you. So we're going to find out a little bit more about all of those.
We get to play with the Gemini tools. Y'all ready? I gotta like stretch for this one because
yes,
there's a lot of
yes.
clicking and moving around. So here we go. So we're gonna get to the first one, which is creating lesson plans with scaffolding prompts. And let me tell you what, I know as educators, we're all artists designing the most intricate lessons that inspire our students. And for me, my background, I have a degree in biology. So naturally, I wanted to teach all things life science, everything life science. But, that's not how it works, right? They throw in at 7th grade science, you got life science, but you also got chemistry and astronomy, and you also have environmental science. And for me, that was the one thing that I dreaded teaching: watersheds. I know it's important. It's really important to get our natural clean water, but I just didn't have the passion to teach that information. And if I'm not passionate about it, well, are my students going to be passionate about it when they learn it? No, they
Right.
won't. So we're going to use Gemini for education to help us develop a lesson with some information that I have mustered up. Are you ready?
Let's
Yes.
see it.
I think I'm ready. Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And here you go on the left side. You see it right there? Gemini Education. I'm going to click on that button right there and see what happens. And there you go. They're the 4 things that Emma had listed that you can do here. And we are going to outline a lesson plan. So I'm going to click on this arrow to get started. And we are greeted by this 3 simple questions. And we know with generative AI, the more detailed we are with the information that we give the platform, the better the generation will be for us, right? And if it's not what we like, we can always edit and tweak it to get what we want. And I said earlier, I taught 7th grade. So there you go. And we have an option. What type of template do we want? We have general and we have 5E. So pop quiz, but more for a reminder of me. Say it with me now. What are the 5Es?
Engage,
Engage,
explain,
explain. I'm reading my script. Explore,
explore,
elaborate, and
evaluate.
evaluate. The
Yes.
5Es. Exceptional, right? So we're going to use the 5E model. Our pedagogy, we're just amazing. And I'm going to paste my standard there, which my let me grab it from my speaker notes here really quick because I don't have it memorized because it's not one that I really enjoy doing. And I'm sure there's somebody out there in the audience that's like, what? You don't like teaching watersheds? I'm sorry. But there it is. I pasted it in there and I'll read the standard for you. Analyze the beneficial and harmful influences of human activity on groundwater and surface water in a watershed, and describe human dependence and influence on ocean systems and explain how human activities impact these systems. So that was a standard that I was responsible for teaching the minds of 7th graders, which I wasn't truly passionate about. And are we ready to hit this button? I think we are. Let's do it. Boom. Drum roll. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. How fast was that? All right. So Google, the Gemini has provided me suggested learning objectives, and they're listed right there, which I can easily edit if I need to. But I love this right here. So I have describe your class. So I'm going to give it more information as it designs this lesson for me. So I'm going to say my average class size, because I teach 6 sections of this, is about 27 students. I've been keeping this inflatable pool in the back, so we have access to an inflatable pool. I knew keeping this pool would be useful. 20 pounds of play sand. We got some arts and crafts supplies. I also have one student who learns the best when creating videos. So let's see if they can differentiate my lesson to that one student. Okay. And let's generate this lesson plan. And we're going to cross our fingers and hope that we get something that we enjoy. And if not, we can always do it again, right? Here you go. Generate lesson plan. Cue music. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Aha! Okay, here we go. And it's really throwing the inflatable pool in there. Materials, inflatable pool, 20 pounds of play sand. And we've got our essential question. So for all about project-based learning, those are important, right?
Nice.
Ooh, this is great here. Common misconceptions. Okay, so as I teach this lesson, make sure you touch base on this. There's part of my 5E model, my engage, my explain, my explore, my extend. Extend. We didn't say
There we go.
extend, but hey, that works too. And
You always need that.
evaluate. Okay. There's the inflatable pool. We're actually using it. Create a simple model of a watershed. Okay. There's even some differentiation involved. Like, how can we differentiate this? All right. So I know we don't have time right now to vet the lesson plan, but I'm sort of liking what I'm seeing based on those keywords there. I'm really getting a use of that inflatable pool. It does have a hole in it, but I didn't mention that. But it'll still work for this lesson. So
I
it's
was like,
there.
you science teachers did always have the most random
We did.
items back in those science closets.
I was like, all right, students, bring all the things you're about to throw away into our classroom. And I just stuffed all the cardboard in that one room. But yes, but I know this is great. It's great for me. I'm not very passionate about watersheds, but I can get an idea, and that they're using everything that I provided it to create a lesson plan for me. Okay. Right. But hey, we create our lesson plans. There's more. There's more that we can do.
And before we even get onto that bit, remember we can also export our lesson plan straight to Google Docs as well, which is
How can I forget?
amazing too.
Thank you. It's that big blue button staring at me so we can export to docs and it'll be easier to change and manipulate. Good catch,
Yeah.
Emma. Thank you.
And then, so let's try and let's create some more hooks. So maybe we don't like the ones that are in here, or we want some more, maybe for some different lessons. And you'll notice that it's pulled through the information we gave it already. So it's still got the grade and it's got that information that we gave about our lesson already there. And now we get the opportunity to pick the ones that work best for our students. So maybe our students are really interested in thought-provoking questions.
Ooh.
Or maybe we want to check for understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can add custom ones as well. So your student who learns best
Oh,
through
yes,
videos.
yes, yes,
Let's
yes.
see if we can do video based or video creation. Let's see what that comes up
Okay,
with.
I'm
And then let's
excited.
press generate and see what it gives us.
Do a little dance. Craft a compelling hook. How many are we gonna get? Nobody knows. Oh,
Ooh.
we
Quite a
got
few.
6.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, and they're fun. Look at
Nice.
the titles. Drain, Drain, Drama. I'm already hooked. You know what? I love teaching watersheds after all.
You're converted.
I have been converted. Fake spill. Wow,
And
look at
again,
this.
we
What are
What are
you
you
thinking?
thinking? You know, Daryl, you are the daddest of dad jokes. So this is
I
right
love
up
me a
your
good
alley.
pun. What are you thinking?
And again, we can copy these. So you can click on the little copy button that we recognize. So you can copy individual ones. Or again, we've got that export to docs option. So that's nice and easy
Lovely.
for us to do as well.
And you know, I'd mentioned project-based learning before. And that's the hardest thing about if you create this wonderful unit that you're excited about, how to get students buying into your lesson. And that was the hardest part for my planning. It's like, okay, what can I do? One time I wrote a fake letter. I said fake letter from the EPA saying, hey, we need your help now. This is a problem. And they ate it up. And
Right.
but we're getting these great hooks, and they're pretty clever too, with the clever titles and all. So
And I
you
don't
got
know how involved they are. I can't, my eyesight, I'll admit. So I can't read them specifically, but I like the fact that we had so many options. And depending on what all is involved, you can maybe pick one or two. I'm thinking for us in the States, when we're teaching, you know, we do a great, I have 6 different class periods.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so something that's great and amazing in first period, by the time my fifth period gets there, they've already given it away. Right. And
perfect.
so
Right.
it would be great to have a whole different hook. And they're like, oh, this is not what I was expecting. Aha, I got you.
That's a
And now
good
you're still
point.
hooked.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah, because the first period would tell second period, hey, this is what Mr. Legaspi's doing. And like, oh,
Yeah.
but not, I got 6. I got 6 class periods. I've got 6 different hooks that we can use. I love this. I love it. Okay. But wait, there's more, right? There's more.
There's
There
more.
is more.
Okay. So we've got the hook. Now we've got to assess our students, right? So you see how we're incrementally building this lesson so we can generate a quiz. Here you go. How many questions do you want to give them? 125. Nope, just kidding. That's way too many. I would never do that to my students. Let's give them like
And Google also has
Or,
some
or to
pushback on
you.
that one.
oh, yeah, that's true. Or to me. Who's grading this? Not me. I'm gonna hand it to a student. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing. All right. So we got 7 questions. Again, like you said, Emma, it's pulling the standard from before, making our life easier so I don't have to copy and paste it. And I can choose the different question types. Let's do some short answer in there. 7 questions. All right. We're good. Learning objectives are good. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we get. Generating. It's like, if only I had this while I was a teacher in the classroom. If only. If only.
100%.
100%. So here we go. We've got and you mentioned this yesterday, Courtney. They even give you the answer to your short answer.
For the short
question.
answer. And I love it. I'm going to check it. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that it's there to at least start from just does my heart happy.
It does. I can see your heart just singing all the beautiful songs. Multiple choice, correct answer. And yeah, of course, I'm vetting these. I am reading. This is exactly, oh yeah, I taught this. They should know this. Or, oh, I didn't really teach that. Let's not use that one. But right there it is. Oh, what's this? Emma,
and
does that
that
make your heart
makes
sing,
That
Emma?
does. I like this. This is great. So, but before we had export to docs, and now because it's an assessment, it's a quiz, we can export this one directly to Google
Oh my
Forms.
goodness. Can you
So
just see how everything just synergizes? You
yeah,
export this to Forms, then you can export it to a practice set. Huh? I mean, they think
come
about
full
everything.
circle.
Full circle, the circle of. I can't say that. We might be removed. I can't sing that song. We might get tagged. But anyways, but yes, we're gone full circle here. Everything's talking to one another. So shout out to the UX and the UI designers out there for Google. Yeah, you're doing great
the
work.
circle of Google Classroom.
There we go. 10 years. It could be like a documentary special, the 10 years of Google Classroom. And they can include us. We can be stars of it. All right. We have one more thing that we're going to show, right? Let me see.
Yes.
One more thing here. We talked about that. We're going to talk about, haha.
It might be my favorite of the four. I think all of them are amazing. But as a recovering English teacher, which is what I like to call myself, I think this one is a game changer for accessibility for our students, right? Finding materials that are going to be at an appropriate level for each student in your class of 25, 30 can be daunting. I think for everybody, no matter the subject area. And for me, like Daryl was talking about being a science teacher, I taught something called eighth grade reading enrichment. And students had me as a required elective, oxymoron, I know. But some of those students were in there because they had a bad day of testing. And so, but they actually were reading at a 12th grade reading level, right? I also had some students who did have some reading struggles and were maybe reading on like a fourth or fifth grade reading level. So trying to find a piece that we could all read together. Also trying to find something for my struggling reader who needed something at that fourth grade reading level, but I didn't want it to look like it was written for a fourth grader was almost impossible, right? And so now Gemini can help us with that. We can take Gemini to the rescue. You can either simplify the language for your struggling readers. You can bump up the complexity a lot by aligning it to like a target age or target grade level to encourage that deeper thinking and things like that. So again, it's available from that Gemini education page over on your dashboard. And we're going to go and re-level text. You have a couple of options up at the top. You can either, like I said, make it simpler or set that target grade. We'll go with make it simpler this time, Daryl. How do you want to do it?
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
And we have some text for on watersheds because I'm going to pretend like I was a science teacher, right? So
you see how
can
fast I typed that? I typed it so
yes,
fast.
Daryl's such a great typer. Appreciate you,
Stenographer.
sir. That's it, stenographer. But so get your text in there. Copy and paste works great. And then I love that little box that we have under
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
under that area that says keywords to make sure you keep it related to your original version. So we have things like watershed, topography,
Topography.
aquifers. I mean, do you hear me? I could
Yes.
teach
Oh my
seventh
God.
grade
You should
science
teach
tomorrow.
watershed. Yes, you're ready.
But you can get those added in, and then you're ready to generate.
And I love, like I said, shout out to the UI, UX designers out there. Like the interface is just amazing. This is what we're about to see in a second.
It usually says it takes like maybe 10 seconds, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Do I have that much time? Please,
just take time to breathe. This is a reminder for mindfulness.
And it's ready. Yes. And again, I love how it looks. You have your original right beside your re-leveled version. You notice you have some things that are underlined on your original and some things that are highlighted. And that is because you can see the wording and things that have been changed. So you can get a look at those. We have our favorite shiny blue button still.
Is it there? Export to docs.
Yeah. So,
lovely.
And you can then repeat this, what is it? Lather, rinse, repeat. If I need to have another version or we want to go, we did the grade level that time. No, we did simple. We did
simplified.
It simpler.
Yes.
We could switch it. We could go back and do it for a target grade level or target age as well.
Oh, that's so great. And I love this. Look at this. It says the green is simplified and the keywords that we had listed out there are underlined. So there's topography. Yeah. That's the word of the day. Topography. All right. I think we reached the end.
Complete game changer.
Absolutely. We made it to the end, y'all.
We did. And we have a couple minutes left, which is perfect. So if you have any remaining questions, please make sure you put those into the chat for us. Anything we talked about and you want us to mention a little bit more about, feel free. But If you want to continue talking more exciting new Google Workspace wonders, we have got you covered. You can join us again next Tuesday, October 22nd. We're going to talk about some features to enhance literacy, like read along. And then on the following Tuesday, October 29th, we will be sharing all things accessibility and productivity. So make sure you get registered today. On the slide again, you have the links for the North America version and the EMEA. So make sure you know those are two separate links, but get registered and
Yeah,
learn a
and
little
we
bit
have
more.
it's our last two. We have two more after this. And I mean, Emma, thank you so much for your insight and congratulations on your Teacher of the Year. Well
Thank
Big
you.
deserved.
Thank
It's been a
congratulations.
pleasure doing these this webinar with you. And yeah, we got a few more minutes. So are there any questions from the audience that we need to answer? Hopefully we can answer. I know this is a jam-packed session, really exciting, of all these features on its 10-year anniversary. So I wonder what's going to happen the next 10 years.
Right?
you.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see. So
All righty. Well, if we just explained it and demoed it perfectly, that's
I
fine too. We
know.
appreciate y'all.
I know. Hey, get out a little bit early. Class is dismissing 2 minutes early. And we can't wait to see you all in the next two. We just got two more with you all. You've been a great audience. It's so glad. We're so happy to be part of the EMEA audience for the first time
I
in
know
our
it has. I've
years of
enjoyed it.
doing
It
this,
was fun.
Courtney.
Yep. Good times. I'm glad y'all could hear me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that was great. I thought it was me. It's like, wait a second. So I changed my sound settings really quick, and I lost my sound effects. But hey, we made it happen.
Thank you. Enjoyed you, Emma.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being a part of this. I'm gonna follow your
right.
journey now.
Everybody have a good one. Take care.
Bye bye.